Okay, so here we are. So we're going to go ahead and do, so we already know who he was writing to. Who was the letter written to? To the people of Texas, right? But also what? Americans all over the world. So earlier, America had done something called the American Revolution. And America fought in the American Revolution. And America fought against British tyranny, against British rule, Michael. So they were upset. So I really want you to understand that whenever he appeals to Americans all over the world, that document, that statement is kind of saying, I want you to support Texas independence, okay? So to the people of Texas and also all Americans in the world. William B. Travis was the commander of a small force of Texans in Tejanos. So we see those two words. So Tejanos means Mexican-born what? Texans. So let's just draw a little arrow. Let's put Mexican-born Texans. All right, so Mexican-born Texas. So that's what a Tejano is. It's a Mexican-born Texas. Mexican troops led by, we see this guy again. What's his name? You don't have to say the full thing. Someone just tell me his name. You got it. He had surrounded them. Fearing that this small group of men could not withstand a assault, Travis wrote an open letter seeking reinforcements and supplies from supporters. So why did he write the letter? He was what? Seeking reinforcements and supplies. Okay? The letter was initially entrusted to a courier, Albert Martin, who carried it to the town of Gonzales. Have we heard of Gonzales before? Anything special happened there? You got it. 70 miles away. Martin added several postscripts to encourage men to reinforce the Alamo and handed the letter to Lancelot Smithers. Smithers added his own postscript and delivered the letter to its intended destination, San Felipe de Austin. Have we heard of San Felipe de Austin before? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was on one of your tests that you took, right? That was the largest Anglo colony, okay? So that was Stephen F. Austin's town. So I want you to put right here, under San Felipe de Austin, I want you to put largest. We can actually fit it right here. Largest Anglo colony. And it was the Texas capital. Okay? So San Felipe de Austin was the largest Anglo colony, and it was the Texas capital. Make sure you're paying attention. Yes, sir.
How come, their names are so long?
Hispanic names back then were very long. Okay, so this is the largest Anglo colony. And let's keep going. Publishers printed more than 700 copies. This letter also appeared in newspapers and eventually printed throughout the United States. While it did not result in any direct aid from the garrison of the Alamo, it did much more to motivate the Texan army and helped rally support for the American cause for independence. So let's go ahead and underline that sentence because that's important. We need to know that. Did this letter directly help the people in the Alamo? No, it didn't. It did something else though. So let's highlight that. While it did not result in any direct aid from the garrison at the Alamo, it did much to motivate the Texan army, and it helped rally support for America for the cause of independence. So this is kind of why they say remember the Alamo. Why is a battle so important that everyone died at? You know, so the idea behind it is that they didn't want their death to be in vain. They wanted their death to mean something. It also cemented Travis's status as a hero of the Texas Revolution. As you read this letter, I want you to underline what part of this makes Travis sound like a hero. Okay, guys? So we're going to read this letter, and what part of it makes Travis sound like a hero? In fact, why don't I not read it? I'm going to have my friend Willie Nelson read it. Y'all heard of Willie Nelson? Okay.
Is it like some kind
It's a country singer. Willie Nelson reads Travis' letter. Now that's the letter.
You better not be at Will's.
So we're going to hear Willie Nelson read this. So we can follow along where he says to the people.
February 24,
Here we go.
1836.
To the people.
To the people of Texas and all the Americans in the world. Fellow citizens and compatriots, I am besieged with 1,000 or more of the Mexicans under Santa Anna, and I have sustained a continual bombardment and cannonade for 24 hours and have not lost a man. The enemy has demanded a surrender of discretion, otherwise the garrison are to be put to the sword if the fort is taken. I have answered the demand with a cannon shot, and our flag still waves proudly from the walls. I shall never surrender or retreat. Then I call on you in the name of liberty and of patriotism and of everything dear to the American character to come to our aid with all dispatch. The enemy is receiving reinforcements daily and will no doubt increase to 3,000 or 4,000 in 4 or 5 days. If this call is neglected, I am determined to sustain as long as possible and die like a soldier who never forgets what is due his own honor and that of his country, victory or death. William Barrett Travis, Lieutenant Colonel, Commandant. P.S. The Lord is on our side. When the enemy appeared in sight, we had not 3 bushels of corn. We have since found in deserted houses 80 or 90 bushels and got into the walls 20 or 30 head of beans. Travis.
Okay, so that's the Travis letter. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through this letter and kind of read it one more time. Besieged by 1,000 or more Mexicans. Does that sound like he's surrounded? I have sustained continual bombardment and cannonade for 24 hours and have not lost a man. They're being attacked with cannons. The enemy has asked for surrender, but I responded to his surrender with firing a freaking cannon. That's awesome. Okay. I shall never surrender or retreat. Does that sound like hero language?
Yeah.
Good. I shall never surrender or retreat. And then it says, at the very end of his letter, he says these iconic words. What does he say? Victory or death. That's a big deal. Okay, guys, so what we're going to do now is we're going to flip this page over, and you're going to do this on your own. And I posted videos if you need help with it. But we're going to flip this over, and we're going to answer some of these questions, okay? I'm going to set a timer for maybe, what time do y'all get out here? 10:10? I'm going to set a timer for 13 minutes, and I want you to answer as many of these as you can, okay, guys? Number 7, you don't have to do, all right? And like I said, I posted a video. The video is 10 minutes long, and it takes you through all of these if you want to use that video, okay? But other than that, you should be good to go.
Wait, which videos for the one on the back?
William, it'll say Travis letter, working through the Travis letter.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a computer?
I don't.